Witnesses. Sometimes they have like the FBI come in.
Sometimes they have other, okay, all those people, the FBI, the police, those are all law enforcement. That's one group, okay? Then we have, when we go to court, who do we have depicted? Who are they showing us?
Judge.
The judge.
Bailiff.
The bailiff. The lawyers, right? The DA and the prosecuting attorney and the defense attorney. And who else?
Who are those people called?
They're
juries.
I'll open this up and show you what the finished product looks like. It's got both sides of the hand, and what I'm going to do is I've got the hand, as you saw, set in the clay like this. I'll pour this plaster over this, then take the clay off, and what I'm going to have then is this part. And I'm going to flip it so that it's got the plaster down here. I'll put soap or some kind of barrier. You could put mineral oil, or you could put corn oil, or you could put detergent or green soap or whatever on there. And then I'll set it up again, and I'll pour the other side so that you end up having the two halves of the mold. And you notice they're rubber banded together. If I want to cast it, they absolutely have to be rubber banded together, but it's just so that they don't warp too. So if you make a mold, you don't want it to warp no matter what. Even if you're throwing the plaster at the piece, you still don't want it to warp, so you make sure it's tightly bound. It can be rubber bands, it can be wire, you know, there are many ways to do it. And I'm going to stir this until it becomes kind of the consistency of heavy cream. And then I'm going to pour it in here, and that'll give me my first half. While I'm stirring here, anybody have any questions about the department or about what the tour that you've seen today or the field that you intend to go in, or questions about the school or anything?
Physiology class in college. You basically learn how all the major systems of the body work. You learn about the brain and the heart and the lungs and the kidneys and the muscles, and you just learn about how things work in the body and when things go bad, as I like to say, because things do go wrong with our bodies at times. And one thing that you see in medicine, nursing, therapy is what we call a little device. If you've ever been in the hospital or clinic before, have they ever pinched something on your finger? Sometimes they just pinch a little thing on, and you hear it beeping sometimes, and then they just pull it off. Okay. Do you know why they're doing that? Have they ever told you why they put something on your finger and pinch it and just let it sit there? I'm always amazed sometimes that they don't tell people why they're doing these. It's kind of like blood pressure. They just kind of squeeze and take your blood pressure, and then they just move on. And they don't really kind of explain why they're doing this.
Never be afraid to ask when they're doing things to you.
Oh,
You will learn.
You will learn great things. So right now, what this is doing, what all of them are doing when they pinch something on you, is first of all, they're reading your heart rate, which comes standard. And right now they said my heart rate is 78. That is beautiful heart rate. And there's a second number here that says 98 on it. And above it, it says SpO2%. That means saturation percentage of oxygen in my blood. It's saying how much oxygen I am getting into my bloodstream right now. Every time I inhale, my oxygen has to go from my lungs into my bloodstream and meet all the areas of my body and then be blown out as carbon dioxide. Every single breath I take, that exchange is happening. I pull in oxygen, I blow out carbon dioxide. And some people can't get all of the oxygen they inhale into their bloodstream. It gets trapped. They have diseases of the lungs, and it can't, what we say, perfuse from the lungs through into the bloodstream. And so it represents a number that says, how well am I doing? Anything over 90 is perfect. We want to see 91 to 100%. And it says 98. So this means I'm great. My lungs are working well. I'm getting oxygen into my blood. So this little red light is shining through your fingernail to the other side to see how much hemoglobin is attaching into your blood and causing you to get oxygen in there. And then it says a heart rate. So when you try this yourself, you can stick your finger in there, and then, so the left number will be oxygen. The right one will be your heart rate. And heart rate is important too. It's a great way to see, is our heart working too hard? Have you ever felt your heart going really fast? What were you doing when your heart heart was going really fast. You're running. Anything else you were doing when your heart got really fast? Okay. Everyone thinks of the heart rate going up when you exercise, you move around a lot, but stress causes it to go up too, right? We get really stressed out, and then our heart rate elevates. That's because our body knows when something's happening and we need more oxygen. When we're running around, when we're stressing, we start breathing heavier, we need more oxygen. That's your body's natural way of saying, we need more oxygen so your muscles can work harder and be stronger, and you don't bottom out and lose oxygen. Because if we don't get enough oxygen, what do you think happens? If you started getting lower levels of oxygen than what you need for what you're doing, what would you think would happen?
Pass out.
You pass out. That's your body saying, you know why we pass out? Because your body is saying you need to start lying flat and taking it easy. And it's the easiest way your body knows to get you to lay down, is to cause you to lose consciousness. Once you lay down, you start feeling better, right? That's how your body gives you. It's not the most ideal way. In an ideal way, you get a little message that says, hey, you want to sit down and take it easy? We don't always do that.